Should we start? Yeah? Okay. Hello and welcome. My name is Lukas Lukowski, or pronounce me, if you try, in the correct way, Łukasz Lukowski, but Lukas is still okay. I came from Europe to share our journey with the OCP hardware and the SONiC. So as you can see, we've been going from that DCI evolution to the campus revolution. And let's simply just start. Previously, I had a pleasure to working at Edgecore Networks, so my start was more or less in 2014. First time about the disaggregation open networking I hear in 2013. So maybe, yes, I can say that slowly I can feel like some kind of like a veteran in that industry. But the whole story about the disaggregation is starting, in fact, even in 2012. That was the time when Cumulus Networks introduced ONIE, Open Network Installed Environment. And this is where everything changed. This is when we'll be able to disaggregate the software from the hardware on the switches, routers. Same year after, ONIE been started, let's say that there was like a big cooperation with a different hardware vendors, and we see first bare metal switches available. In 2013, there was also a first public demo at the OCP Meet Workshop, incubated by the OCP. 2014 is another important point or a date, because that was the time when the ONIE been fully adopted by the OCP. A year after, we had already more than 40 different hardware platforms from more than 10 different vendors. Sorry, by different 12 vendors. The year after, like 2016, this is where slowly we start to hear publicity about the SONiC. Of course, as some of you are aware, it's been introduced by the Microsoft and fully open source test. And the same year, we had the first demo at the OCP Summit. Years like 2018, 2022, simply they're bringing like a significant growth in the industry adoption. We have a lot of first early adopters, then fully adopters of the OCP. There is a huge future expansion, and finally there is also a time like the SONiC being, let's say, moved or transitioned to the Linux Foundation. But still there is like a close cooperation between OCP and the Linux Foundation. But where we are today with the ONIE and with the SONiC, so I make some my own calculation, and if we will take a look on the hardware, open switches, open routers, open OLTs, today we have more than 500 different devices for more than 20 vendors. So this is really a significant growth. Take a look on that whole ecosystem. We have a lot of hardware options. And speaking about the SONiC, especially the community one, it is definitely supported by more than 140 different platforms from more than 10 vendors. And still I would say that that journey is just a beginning. Based on the Olo group, I found that statistic on the beginning of this year, so I'm sure that the guys will be updating that. We have more than 6 million ports running on the SONiC. So that is really giving a significant amount of the hardware. And if we will take a look on those diagrams, 2070, 22, and 2027 with the prediction, let's park the top 4 US cloud service providers. We see that there is still a significant growth targeted on the cloud SPs. Telcos, maybe not too much, because as we know, SONiC is not fully there for the telco requirements. But yesterday we saw that Orange in France been able to adopt edge core switches with SONiC, with their own, let's say, development for layer 2 application. I'm sure that they are also working on a little bit more advances. And there will be definitely a large expansion into enterprise, because based maybe on the distribution, but also the community is going to the campus space. So the features like PoE, power over Ethernet, it's also right now supported with a lot of others. But going to some use cases, there is a few, but I would like to focus today on just two. DCI, Data Center Interconnection, and where the evolution is coming here. So today, from the hardware perspective, we can support such as technology or such as optics like 400G OpenZR+. What is giving that to us? So first of all, we don't need to use typical transponders, and we can achieve a distance on even hundreds of kilometers if we will amplify that and maybe reduce a little bit the speed, and we can go between the cities, between the countries. So normally we have to use like a standard optical transponders. Today with the hardware which is available, and I have here in mind both switches and the routers, we can plug those coherent optics directly to those devices. And of course with the SONiC support, we can manage the channels, we can adjust, tune the power, and what we need, it will be just a filter, in some cases amplifier, and we can go on really high distance. There is also another interesting technology which was in fact introduced like 2 years back, but still not a lot of people are aware of that. And I have here in mind 100G, that MBU doped field fiber amplifier, so called EDVAS. So with that technology, we can go on one end with the 400G coherent one to 4 different localizations on the 100G, again, without the optical transponders which we've been using in the past. So it's maybe not exactly true that it's related with something you need with the OCP hardware. Simply the hardware which is open with ONIE is getting also that functionality. So what is required from the hardware perspective? It is basically the optical budget, or let's say a budget for the optics, which is around 24 watts. Another interesting, let's say, use case is the campus one. And we as a STORDIS have quite good experience in that field. So maybe the community SONiC is not fully ready for that, but there are some enterprise distribution which have been really hardened and tested in production. So from the data center, right now we can also go to your campus network and power your cameras, power your APs, power your security network, any access controls. There was some challenges, some features been missing, just that I mentioned PoE functionality was not available, but simply it's today with us. And this is why definitely there will be like a huge expansion into the campus field. From the hardware perspective, I would say that it was easier because we have 1G switches, multi-gig switches with or without the PoE for a few years already. But definitely to adopt that market, we needed to have more like a cost-effective, cost-optimized designs. And this is where a lot of vendors been coming with really a good offer. So we have a 1G series. Some of the vendors are right now introducing even like a 24 ports, PoE, non-PoE, really, really cost-optimized designs. And we will see definitely more of them. In the traditional campus network, the customer be used to use regular stacking. And this is most of the questions which we are receiving, yeah? So they have a lot of those, let's say, Cisco, Juniper boxes, Aruba, whatever, legacy, and most of the time they've been stacking them together. Of course, this is the one way, but from the other side, To be honest, this is not necessarily what the SONiC or the other open OSs can support, but the technology and the advanced technology which could be introduced here could base on some kind of like again, leaf and spine of the topology using MLAC. And the challenge which we find there was simply not enough fibers to go to, let's say, 8 of those switches in that specific port to let's say, deal with that challenge. We've been simply going with the passive DWDM technology, which on 10G, even 25G today, it's not a, let's say, huge investment. But going like that, we can really create a solid networks. We can be in your data centers. We can then go to your data center access points and go over all the floors. And regardless if you have 1 switch or 8 switches, we can connect them in similar way like a leaf and spine topology, which we know well from the data centers, and have that whole throughput, redundancy, and more. But let's check some reality, where we are, where are still some limitations if we are talking about the SONiC. Community SONiC is, at least in our production, not always, in our opinion, not always production ready. We've been going a few times over some tests, and unfortunately we've been facing some issues. It doesn't mean that it will be not ready in the future, because there is a huge development and a lot of contribution back. But most of the time, always something was unfortunately missing. But of course, we do have some enterprise proposal where, besides needed features and more use cases, simply you are able to count on the professional support. And this is what most of the enterprise will need it anyway. If we will take a look on the use case and what limitation we see, definitely telecom use cases, yeah? What our colleagues from Orange were able to establish on those 10G fiber switches, still SONiC is not available for all DNX families, so typical routers with the external TCAMs. I believe that it will come, but in my opinion, we still need to wait like minimum 1 year and even more to see needed features there. But definitely data center, that was where everything been born, and the campus are really, really mature. Speaking about the campus network, where are the gaps? I would say that from the feature perspective, we are okay. I will more count or more cost-optimized designs. So we are getting a request for 8-port switches, 12-port switches, 24-port switches. And yes, that is something which is not fully with us. There are some vendors who are working on that, and I'm sure that it will come as well, but most of the time we are starting from minimum 48 times 1G with the PoE and let's say 6 or 8 times 10G. If we are talking about those cost-optimized trinket hardware designs, that definitely will also require some, let's say, improvements on the SONiC itself. But there are a few projects where people are working on some call it SONiC on the diet, yeah, where we will be able to really have a smaller image, which not necessarily will require like a big Intel CPUs and so on. So definitely this is something which will come. Wireless integration, I would say that that should be already a little bit updated point, because there is a new cooperation between SONiC and Open LAN project. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with the Open Wi-Fi under the tip. This is, let's say, some kind of like a disaggregation in the wireless. And under that project, there is also like a project related with the switch called it Open LAN. And there is where the cooperation being started. And I'm sure that we will see some kind of like enabling of the SONiC switches with some cooperation with the wireless space. Monitoring and automation, I would say that this is a strong point. We have quite a lot good solution. There is Abstra. Today they are under the Juniper. There are gentlemen from Avis, Dorado, B&H. So speaking about that, I would say like you have definitely some choices. There are also some open source projects. We as a STORDIS been running one related with or focusing on the monitoring, call it Monsoon. You can go on the GitHub and just play with that. We also lately been introducing another project called Orca for the SONiC orchestration. So definitely some choices are there. And new direction, I bring in SONiC Dash. This is where those GPU hopefully will be adopted. I am watching that project. I would say that yes, there is a nice progress, but still, in my opinion, nothing, let's say, mature. We will see this year. But definitely this is, let's say, another nice direction. So I already maybe mentioned a few times STORDIS. So STORDIS, it is the company which I am representing. We base in Europe. The headquarters is located in Germany. We have also some offices in Poland, in UK. What we are doing, we are able to help you to, let's say, aggregate that disaggregation. We are taking the right open networking hardware. We can advise you with the right open networking software. It could be SONiC, it could be some other options. But having that experience and working in open networking from 2014, we saw a lot of missing gaps. People simply need some enterprise type of the SLA. They are asking for the next business day, advanced replacement. Companies are requesting to have 24/7. They are coming to us and saying, hi guys, you know, I need to train my team. Those are points we've been trying to address and provide a solution. So we are providing trainings, we are providing consulting, we are advising with the right combination of the software and hardware. And of course, yes, we also are working as some kind of like a typical distributor. We have that hardware, we have the access to that software, optics, cables, whatever what could be needed. So are you ready to open up? If you are thinking where to start, I will encourage you to go and sign up to our LinkedIn SONiC group. It is still small, relatively small community. As we speak, we have maybe around 750 members, but you can just go. My presentation should be shared. It's called SONiC Technical Community Network Group. You can find us on the LinkedIn, and we can just, you know, share the knowledge. Our Road to Open Academia, going on roadtoopen.com, you can find a lot of free material. So if you are thinking, if you are just starting, you are not sure what is exactly open networking, what kind of the benefits and challenges it could bring, I am encouraging you to go and sign up for that course. You will also find there a lot of other courses like the enterprise-based, bigger SONiC courses as well. If you would like to play with the hardware, we have two labs. One is located in Germany, in Stuttgart, another in Leszno in Poland. So for those partners who are also coming from Europe, that could be a good way to play with the hardware. But definitely there is also more options. So we are partnering with our friends from the Scale Up. There is another OCP Experience Center located in Berlin. This is where you can get even more experience, not only open networking, which is our domain, but also whole OCP racks, server storage, powered by the open networking switches. If you prefer to make your hands dirty, we can also pack that hardware and send to you. You can play with such as two racks, mobile racks, which are certified for the transport and vibration. We can set up that for you as a small leaf and spine. or if you would like to test it more on the campus field, we can put there a few PoE multi-gig switches with SONiC, and simply this is how you can take a little bit, go a little bit deeper. If you are the type of the person who would like to really go deeper, we have also some special vouchers for our SONiC training. The value of that vouchers is almost 500 euro, but if anyone would like to go with those 9 modules, almost 60 lessons, I am encouraging you to either reach out to me or go to EdgeCore Network stand on their booth. You will also find those vouchers, and simply you can really go deeper. As I mentioned, we have there 9 modules. This based on the enterprise SONiC distribution. Every module is ending with the certification. There is like a dedicated group for the students. We are just starting. We have around 350 students who've been certified on the SONiC. Besides that, we are also running like a dedicated boot camps. So knowledge transfer is just available for you without any cost. Christmas are coming, so it could be also a good present, yeah, for maybe some more technical as I am people. And simply, let's stay connected, yeah. Please feel free to reach out to us. As a company, we are supporting also some partners, not only from Europe. We are providing 24/7 based on our different, let's say, support contracts, and our customers who take that challenge, adopting OCP hardware, SONiC, and not only, basically are located all over the world. Basically, that will be everything from my end. If anyone have any questions, please feel free.